Imagine you haven't had water in 3 days. Not thirsty. Not uncomfortable. 3 days. Your tongue feels like leather. Your skin has stopped sweating because there's nothing left inside you to sweat, and a body that stops sweating in this heat is a body already losing the fight it doesn't know it's in. And next to you, your son isn't crying anymore. That's the part that scares you. Because thirsty children cry. Dying children go quiet. You are 60,000 years ago, on the edge of the Kalahari. There is no tap, no bottle, no stranger coming to save you. There is only your family, your wife, your mother, your son, and whatever you know. And right now, what you know is running out faster than the water did. 3 weeks ago, this was a river. You watched it shrink day by day, from a current your son could swim in, to a trickle he could step over, to nothing but cracked mud holding the shape of water that isn't there anymore. Everyone told stories about droughts like this. Old stories, from before you were born. You never thought you'd be living inside one. Now you are, and the stories don't feel like warnings anymore. They feel like the only thing standing between your family and the ground. Your mother looks at you. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't have to. Every eye in this small group is asking the same question, and it's landed on you, because somewhere along the way, you became the one who decides. Which way? Choose wrong, and you walk your family into an open desert with no water for another 2 days. Choose right, and everyone lives. There is no room in that sentence for anything in between. There is no map. There is no compass. There is only the land, and whatever it's willing to tell you. You've watched your father read this land your whole life. Now it's your turn, and your son is watching you the same way you once watched his grandfather, like the answer is already written somewhere on your face, and all he has to do is wait for you to say it out loud. You point northeast, toward a line of green you almost didn't notice a thin ribbon of trees that shouldn't be growing unless something underground is feeding them. There, you say. Your voice comes out steadier than you feel. Your wife picks up your son, who is too weak now to walk the whole distance himself. Your mother falls into step behind you without a word, trusting a decision she taught you how to make in the first place. Nobody argues. Nobody asks if you're sure, even though every one of them has enough reason to. You hope you're right. You have to be right. You didn't guess. You read. A patch of green in a dead brown landscape means moisture below. Certain trees don't grow their roots wide, they grow them deep, straight down, chasing water no human eye can see. Birds fly low and fast toward one point at dawn and dusk, because birds don't waste flight. This isn't guesswork. This is a science nobody wrote down, because nobody needed to. It lived in your mother's voice, in the songs she sang to you as a child, in the games where she'd point at a tree and ask, "What does this tell you?" And if you got it wrong, she'd correct you gently, because one day the wrong answer wouldn't just cost you a lesson. It would cost you your family. You reach the tree line. You kneel at the base of the greenest tree, the one still holding a little color, the one that hasn't given up yet. You start to dig. The sand is dry. 10 minutes in, dry. 20 minutes in, still dry. Your hands are bleeding at the fingertips, and the hole is deep enough to bury a child, and there is still no water. Your wife isn't looking at you anymore. She's looking at your son, propped against her shoulder, breathing shallow and fast, the kind of fast that doesn't look like energy. It looks like a body running out of options. You dig faster. Sand flies past your shoulders, catching in your throat, in your eyes. Your knuckles scrape rock. You don't stop. Your mother kneels beside the hole and pushes her whole arm into it, feeling for cool, damp earth. For a long moment, nobody breathes, waiting to see if the desert is going to give something back for once. Her fingers have found something. Not water. Not yet. Damp sand. She reaches for a hollow reed from the bundle she always carries, dried grass stems, saved for exactly this moment, and pushes it straight down into the wet sand. Then she puts her lips to the other end and pulls, drawing air through the sand itself, patient, controlled, wasting nothing. Not from a pool, not from a stream, from sand that looked completely dead 30 seconds ago. This is the trick her mother taught her, and her mother's mother before that. She hands the reed to your son first. His eyes open. He drinks. For the first time in 3 days, he makes a sound that isn't a whimper. It's almost a laugh. The well is small. It won't last more than a day. Your mother has an ostrich eggshell wrapped in hide, carried this whole journey, empty, waiting. She fills it carefully from the reed, mouthful by mouthful, sealing the opening with a plug of grass and resin when it's full. Why now? You ask. We need it now. Because next time, she says, we might not find a tree at all. She buries it a short distance away, marking the spot with 3 stones only your family would recognize. You realize this is not just water she's hiding. It's a promise to whoever comes back to this spot one day, thirsty, with nothing else left. Thousands of years from now, in a cave far south of here, someone digging in the dirt will find shells exactly like this one, sealed, engraved, buried on purpose, dozens of them, in caches scattered across the same dry land your family is crossing tonight. They will finally understand something your family already knows tonight. This wasn't an accident. It was a system. A water bank, hidden in eggshells, spread across an entire land, built by people who never expected to be remembered, only to be survived by. 2 days later, the sip well gives up. Your group moves on, weaker, slower. Then, near midday, your wife stops and points. Water, a wide, silver sheet of it, sitting perfectly still on the horizon. Exactly where water shouldn't be able to sit in a land that hasn't seen rain in months. For a moment, everyone runs, forgetting 3 days of exhaustion in a single heartbeat. Even your son finds strength he shouldn't have. Then, the ground stays the same distance away no matter how far you walk, and the silver sheet dissolves into shimmering heat. And you understand there was never anything there at all. Your son starts to cry for the first time in days, and this time, you're almost grateful for it. Crying still means he has something left to lose. You keep walking anyway, because standing still in the direction of a mirage has killed people before, and you don't intend to be one of them. An hour later, you find a real pool, shallow and brown, at the bottom of a rocky basin. Your wife nearly drinks before your mother grabs her wrist. She kneels, smells it, and touches her tongue to one finger. Bitter, wrong. The kind of water that kills slower than thirst does, but kills all the same, the kind that convinces a desperate body everything is fine right up until it isn't. You mark it with a broken branch stabbed upright in the mud, so no one following behind you makes the same mistake. And you keep walking, thirstier than before, having found water twice and been allowed to drink neither. Your mother stops walking and lifts her head. Listening, far off, through the heat, there's a sound not thunder, not wind. A low rumble, steady, moving, elephants. Elephants don't wander randomly through a drought. They walk with purpose, sometimes for a full day, toward water they can sense from kilometers away. Follow them, your mother says. Don't get close. Just follow. You keep the herd in sight for hours, staying downwind, carrying your son when he can't keep pace. The sun moves from directly overhead to low against the horizon, and still you walk. Because stopping means losing them, and losing them might mean losing everything. Zebra joins the same path. Then antelope. Every animal that should be enemies to each other, walking the same line, because out here, thirst makes everyone equal. Just before dark, the herd stops. And there, in a fold of rock you never would have found on your own, is a pool of water, brown, shallow, and more beautiful than anything you have ever seen in your life. Beautiful enough that for a moment nobody moves, as if speaking might make it disappear the way the mirage did. Camped beside the pool, your mother leads you to something you almost walked past a massive, swollen trunk rising out of the rock like it doesn't belong to this drought at all. A baobab. She presses her palm against the bark. This tree has been drinking since before your grandfather was born, she says. It doesn't waste a drop. With a sharpened stick, she cuts a small wound into the trunk, low near the base, careful, deliberate, the way you cut something you intend to come back to. Water beads, then trickles not much, but enough, held inside wood for a season no rain has touched. Some families in this land won't cut a baobab at all. They call it sacred because a tree that gives water when the sky refuses to is not just a resource. It's a debt you don't repay by destroying it. You cup your hands beneath the trickle and let your son drink first, then your wife, then yourself. Last, the way it's always been. Your mother seals the small wound with a paste of ash and mud before you leave, so the tree can heal, so it will still be here, still giving the next time someone thirsty finds it. While your family rests, you notice your own hands, still trembling from days of not having enough. You are not the fastest animal alive. You are not the strongest. But you can sweat through skin, no fur is trapping heat against you, and walk under open sun long after faster animals collapse from the effort of trying to outrun you. It's a strange trade nature made with your kind speed for distance, power for patience. It's why your people can chase a wounded animal for a full day until heat does what a spear couldn't. But that gift only works with discipline. Wastewater chasing something you don't need, and the hunter becomes the hunted by the desert itself. The pool lasts your family 11 days. On the 12th morning, it's mud. You stand at the edge of it with your wife, your mother, your son, older now than he was 3 weeks ago, in ways that have nothing to do with his age. There is one option left. Leave, not for a season. Maybe forever. Walk away from the trees your mother taught you to read, the ground where your father is buried, towards somewhere none of you has ever seen, because staying means one certainty, and leaving means only a chance. You think about everyone who has made this same choice before you, in droughts nobody remembers the names of, walking toward land they'd never seen, because the alternative was a place they knew too well. Your mother doesn't hesitate. She picks up the bundle of reeds, checks the wind, and starts walking. You follow, your son's hand in yours, because that's the only thing that has ever actually worked, not staying safe, but knowing enough to move when safety runs out. Years from now, your son will kneel at a dry riverbed with his own child beside him. He will press his palm into the sand and feel for the exact moment it turns from dust to damp. He will pull a hollow reed from a bundle he's carried for this reason, and this reason alone the same reed, worn smooth by hands before his own. And when his child asks him how he knew exactly where to dig, he won't say he guessed. He'll smile and say it started with a reed his grandmother once handed him, in a drought he still dreams about some nights, even now, even safe, even old. How did you stay so calm, his child will ask, when you were that thirsty? And he'll think of 3 days of silence so many years ago and say quietly, I wasn't calm. I'd stopped crying. There's a difference, and I hope you never have to learn it the way I did. Today, you turn a handle and water arrives. You never have to read a tree, bury an eggshell, or walk behind an elephant for 8 hours, praying it knows something you don't. But somewhere in you, the instinct that kept your ancestors alive is still there quiet, unused, waiting. They didn't survive the drought because they were strong. They survived because a mother handed her son a reed instead of giving up. Because someone buried water for a future they wouldn't live to see. Because when the land had nothing left to give, they had just enough left to walk toward the place that did. Somewhere, a mother is still teaching her child to read a tree line. A grandmother is still burying an eggshell she may never dig up herself. A father is still choosing a direction with no map, trusting nothing but what was passed down to him. None of it looks like technology. It never looked like a solution to anyone watching from the outside, just a family. Walking, digging, waiting, choosing. But it was the only technology that mattered. Out there. When the rivers disappeared and the sky refused to open, the water ran out, the knowledge never did.